Hello everybody, thank you for coming to this week's video blog. My name is Robert Rico, California Realty Training, and I'm so excited you are here this week. We have some great stuff to teach you. I'm excited you're getting involved in this real estate career. Why? Because you will be helping people buy their house, sell their house, whatever it is, you're in for a good ride. Listen, this week's question comes from a subscriber who said, he asked, does the real estate world affect the national economy? Does real estate in general, real estate activities, the real estate world affect the nation in general, the economy of the nation? That's a great, great question. And the answer, of course, is absolutely. Are you kidding me? Real estate and the national economy, they go hand in hand. They definitely complement each other. Now let's think about this. How do they complement each other? And I'm sure you know this. We just have to think about this nice and slow. Now, when I first bought my first house, this was back in 1993 when I got my first house. Got it for $106,000. Bought it for $106,000. Now let's just talk small. That's just me, one individual, me and my wife, small family buying our first house. Small little family, not this huge nation, but a small family buying their house. What did this house do for us when we bought it for $106,000? It changed our life in the future. It really did. Now, why? Because the economy, the house prices, the value of houses, what did they do from 1993 onward? They increased. In the long run, a home, that piece of property is your value, is your future when it comes to financial stability. It's a beautiful savings account. Anybody who has property, if you own property and you hold it long enough, it's probably the safest bet. It's probably your safest savings account. If you just let it sit over time, as we know it through history and through the cycles of real estate, it eventually is going to go up and up, just like a roller coaster, up and up and up and up. And if you sell it at the right time, of course, boom, you make tons of money. Did real estate affect this small family, the Ricos? It sure as hell did. We were able to sell that $106,000 house eventually for close to $400,000. Does real estate affect the national economy? Well, it sure as heck affected this small household. Now let's put that into effect when it comes to the whole nation in general. When people are making money off of their investment, when people buy property and they make great money, they make great profit, they get equity. What do people do when they have a house that has equity? Now most people, what they do is when they have a house that has equity is, of course, they pull out the equity and they spend money. And by spending money, that stimulates the economy. And when the economy is stimulating, everybody's happy, everybody's spending, everybody is needed. We need people to make more cars because people who have money want to buy cars. We have people who are going out on the town, people spending money on dinners, people, buying their toys. Everybody's spending money when they have money. And how do they get money? How do they collect money? That's right, through their investment. Which investment? That property they bought. Makes sense, doesn't it? You buy a property, creates value. That's called equity. With that equity, most people grab that equity like we did. We grabbed our equity at first. What did we do? We spent it. We put a pool in the house. It gave somebody work. Pool people came over and put a pool in the backyard. It stimulated the economy. And that's what most people do. They have their house. They watch it grow in equity. They get that equity. They decide to spend the money, whether it's vacationing or cars or additions to the house, but it stimulates the economy. It's a beautiful thing. What happened in 2007, 2008? You know what happened in 2007, 2008? I remember that. I sure remember those days. That's when the recession hit. And what happened to the home prices, to the home values? They dropped and they dropped and they dropped. And nobody had any equity. Well, a lot of people didn't have any more equity to spend money. And because nobody was spending money, what happened to the national economy? That's right. That's why we call it a recession. Let me share a quote with you that is very, very interesting. John Stuart Mill, political economist, once said, landlords grow rich in their sleep without risking, working, or economizing. Think about that quote. Landlords, by being investors, by owning their own property, now we're talking commercial property, landlords by owning commercial property, that's how influential real estate is to this economy. Landlords, investors who own property, they depend on this property. They depend on this property to collect money without them having to do anything but upkeep. So the question is, does the real estate industry somehow, some way affect the nation's economy? And I think you know that answer. And the answer, of course, is absolutely. With a capital A, exclamation point, bold, underlined. It sure does. We appreciate your questions. If you have any questions or concerns or anything you want us to discuss, please do us a favor, Leave the question or comment down below. We'll be more than happy to discuss it here on our vlogs. So glad you came today. Thank you for coming. See you next week. Have a great day.